Valarry Bullard, and I'm the director here for New Jersey's Office of Broadband Connectivity. I've been in this role for just over 2 years now, and that was when we established this office.
Hi, and I'm Rob Dudas. I'm the Deputy Director of the Office of Broadband Connectivity. I have 4 months now. I was hired in December last year after a long career in telecom and broadband, and very happy to be here.
I actually love that you brought that up, because that's one of the things with our team as we started building the office was making sure that as we're speaking to those who are not familiar with the term broadband, we keep it as simple and making sure we connect where they're at. So instead of using the term broadband for us, it is internet. Instead of explaining to people subscriptions and speed and such, it's a matter of how do you connect to the internet? What tools does it take for you to connect? What funding does it take? And what capabilities? Well, to start, the main difference is your funding source. So you have NJ-BIDE, which is your New Jersey Broadband Infrastructure Deployment Equity Program. That's U.S. Treasury's funds, and we've got roughly 50 million of that pot of funding. So the state received 194 million. The BPU received 50 million of those funds, and that serves as our pilot program. So this is our opportunity to make all the mistakes, work in very specific areas throughout the state, and make sure that we are now prepared for NJ-BEAD. Now you've got BEAD, it's your Broadband Equity Access and Deployment Program. That's funded from Department of Commerce. So for that one, New Jersey received $264 million. And that's where we really get to take our lessons learned and implement in such a stronger program.
For New Jersey BIDE, NJ-BIDE, we have 6 locations that we received 22 applications on, and we've currently been through the evaluation process. We're about to go before the board, and we're almost ready to start awarding these projects. It's an exciting time here.
Yes, our first broadband award. Well, for starters, I hope that in the next 5 to 10 years, every New Jerseyan has access to the internet, right? Infrastructure as well. But for New Jersey, affordability and access as relates to the adoption plays a role. So we know that with this funding, we'll be able to build out the infrastructure. However, then you get to a space of affordability. You get the space of digital literacy. So we're really hoping that in 5 to 10 years, we can connect successfully every New Jerseyan. The worst place to lose internet.
Wow.
I would say any place that's new. I can't tell you how many times my GPS has stopped working because I did not have internet access. So anytime I'm exploring a different location.
Mine would be when I'm in an area I'm dependent upon the map GPS and it stops working and I don't know where I'm at. That's not a good feeling. So I would say traveling in an unknown location for sure, it would be my worst area. A telling time for me was when I interviewed for this job. I hadn't interviewed for 35 years at that point. And it was a teleconference from my home. So it really made me think that if I did not have internet, I would not have been able to participate in that, or I would have had to have gone to some public access area, something like that. Yeah. So that I'm trying to remember that now while I'm here to get every New Jersey resident access.
For focusing on New Jersey, I'd say the challenges in those areas, it's honestly the belief. You go to these communities and you have that outreach and you explain to them these are the opportunities with this funding and this is what we want to come in with. And the minute you say, we're the government and we have money and we want to help you, it's not well received, right? So I would say, while we think infrastructure related, someone needs to understand that there's that need and understand there are resources to make that happen. So getting across that hurdle is the first thing before you can even continue the conversation. Because you go in these areas and let's say you need permits and there is that technical aspect, and you may have someone in a county office that is not familiar with your company, what it is you're trying to accomplish, so they don't know how to help you. So the education piece is essential.
For me, it's going to be getting every resident connected. Coming from corporate world, there was many areas where financially it was tough to build in these areas. So now being on this end and helping internet providers and municipalities and counties with some funding to get it where it's hard to get is going to be very fulfilling for me.
I mean, this month, the hugest thing for us is the fact that we are about to award the first broadband grant that the BPU has ever had, that the state has had at this point. So that's huge. We're an office that started with 2 people. And so literally tripling those numbers has also been a success. And I joke with my team, if they come back the next day, that means we didn't do a horrible job. So you're still here, you didn't run. Keeping our funding, making sure that we are lockstep with our federal agencies. We've always had that relationship, and so we're really hoping in 25 that we're able to maintain that, and as we continue building out, making sure we have their support.
We have the Office of Broadband mailbox. Folks can email us specific questions, and we have a very interactive webpage that explains all the grants. But then it comes down to, do you have access to the internet?
Exactly.
To see those things. That's why this is so important, what we're doing.
Don't get me wrong, we've had people who have sent in letters because of that, right? If you can't explain to us that you can't connect through an email, right? And so we've had people get creative and reach out. And BPU's customer service team has been really supportive as well. Because I think when people hear, these specific, provider names, they immediately think Board of Public Utilities, so they wind up reaching out. So we've had customer service connect with us and let us know that they have received calls for broadband internet connections, so.
And in the 4 months I've been here, there has been a couple of plain old telephone calls that have come in.
Yeah. So digital equity is making sure that we are affording everyone the opportunity to have not just the access, but also an understanding. Right? So one thing that we highlight is that there's a difference between equity and equality. Right? You have your equality where you have every state gets $100. What can you do with that? Whereas you look at equity and realize, okay, well, this state may need more specific resources than the other, but we also know we want to get to the same goal. Right? So when we talk about equity, it's not just making sure that everyone has a laptop. It's not just making sure everyone gets $30 a month, but it's also making sure that they understand what their opportunities are so they can advocate for themselves. Got your BPU, Board of Public Utilities. You have what you'll see OBC, the Office of Broadband Connectivity. Those are the larger ones right now, but we will continue. You'll hear CPF, which is Capital Projects Fund. There are endless acronyms, and it's not just industry-based also, it's at the government level. We definitely hope as the new kids on the block that we're taken and people understand now what Broadband is and that we're in office here on the second floor. We're around. Come say hi. Thank you. This has been a great opportunity.